ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. So welcome to our Saturday morning session. We are continuing on the journey of Mundaka Upanishad, Mundaka 2, part 2. We saw that this Upanishad started with a question from Rishi Saunaka, that tell me one single thing by knowing which the whole world is known. And then it continued further down. Now, until the end of first mundak of first part of second mundak, Rishi Angira, who was answering the question, he clarified, after first clarifying what is vidya and what is avidya, and then he clarified that the whole universe, whether it is the physical universe or whether it is the living beings in the universe, is consisting of one single entity called Brahman or Akshar or consciousness, whatever name we give. And then he ended up with this verse, which is again a Mahavakya, that Purus ev idam Vishwam, that ye Purus hi pura sansar hai. Purus is reference to the Akshar or to the Supreme Being or to the Brahman. वही पूरा संसार है, उसके अलावा इस संसार में और कुछ भी नहीं है. He gave lot of examples. He gave an example of fire, that like thousands of sparks come out of the same fire. Similarly, thousands of beings come out of the Supreme. Or like millions of herbs and plants come out of the earth. Similarly, millions of objects and plants and herbs and life forms come out of the Supreme. Or like on the human body, millions of hair come out. Similarly, from the same being, all this universe comes out. So he gave a lot of these very practical examples, clarifying that everything comes out of him and dissolves back into him. After that, in the current, that is part 2 of Mundak 2, he is giving a practical example that how do we realize him? How do we reach him? How do we feel that this is he or this is it? Now, he started with the first two verses saying that, all the things, whether it is the entire universe, whether it is living beings, whether it is your mind, whether it is your pranic energy or your senses, it is all he or all it, all supreme, all akshar. They are all established in akshar. The akshar is the support and cause of all that. Now, this point we need to understand a little bit better. And he called it guhachar, that akshar, that consciousness is sitting in your guhachar, and from where everything arises. We saw it briefly in our last session, but I thought I'd like to go again on that little bit more in more detail. Now, if we look at the space outside, it looks far away from us. It's very distant thing. We look at galaxies, we look at planets, we look at, stars and moon and so many other, objects in the space. They look very far away. We look at them that they are distant entities. They are not close to us. And then we look at ourselves. We see that this is me, this is my ear, this is my body, this is my hand, and this is my eyes, and all this. So this looks very close to us. So we do a division based on our own self, that what is close to me and what is away from me, what is distant from me. That is one division we are normally accustomed to. Like I'm sitting in a particular office, somebody else is not there, then I'll say he's sitting outside, I'm sitting inside. Because this is in relation to my body where it is existing. So this is a very common distinction we do. Now, but that distinction has been demolished in this Upanishad in these two verses, the first two verses of the second part of second Mundak. Because as we saw, this very clearly says, and let me see it here once again, that everything else, whether it is the oceans, whether it is the mountains, whether it is space, whether it is all the entities, living entities, they are all established in the Supreme. And then it also goes down and says that the pranic energy, the mind, the sense organs, they're all established in him. Now, that means whether it is the space outside with all the galaxies and planets, or whether it is my own mind, they are all established in the same entity called Akshar or consciousness or Brahman, which is located in my what we call heart. The word which has been used in this Upanishad is Guhachar, that there is a cave in the heart in which it is located. So that is the explanation given here. Now, how do we understand that this is right? Now, if we look at this universe, there's only one place in our being where we do chintan. Chintan ka sthan, there's only one place where we do chintan. And when we do chintan, all these things appear. Now, the sun may be, millions of kilometers away from us, but ultimately it appears in the same Chaitanya which is located in my heart. The galaxies may be trillions of light years away from here, but they appear in the Chaitanya which is located in my heart. Similarly, if I, use my hands and my body, that feeling also appears in the same Chaitanya located in my heart. From the same Chaitanya located in my heart, I can also monitor my mind, my words, my actions, and even my emotions are actually linked to the same Chaitanya. So without that Chaitanya located in our heart, we cannot experience this world. So this Upanishad tells us that Des, Kal or Vastu, these are the three major ingredients of this universe. That is, Des is the place, location, whether it is far or near. Kal is the time, whether it is past, present or future. And Vastu means whatever is the manifest world. We may see the cities, we may see the buildings, we may see the planets and the stars, all that which are visible, tangible, which we can see with our sense organs. All these things, they ultimately appear in your own self in the Chaitanya. Now, let's understand it in a more practical way. When we go back in the night and take a sleep, in the deep sleep, all this universe disappears. Whatever we see, this big, infinite space, Akash, we see all these galaxies and planets and stars and moon and buildings and cities and the roads and, vehicles. Nothing is visible, nothing is in existence. Even our own body is not in existence at that time. Why? Because at that time, that consciousness in our guhachar is in a dense state. It is not in the state of expression. It is called, the dormant state. The dormant state of consciousness does not reveal that world to us, and therefore the whole universe disappears. And then in the Tejas state, when we have dream state, we actually create a world of our own out of nothing. We we create a space, we create a huge, universe. We create friends and enemies, and we create roads and the cities, and we, create animals, mountains, rivers, everything we create. And when we wake up, all those they disappear, and they disappear in our own self. They dissolve in our own self. So if we take these two examples, it becomes very clear that the whole universe actually is appearing in the guhachar, in that consciousness located in our heart. As soon as that consciousness leaves our body, the whole universe collapses. So whether this universe is in existence or not, the only test is whether I have the consciousness or not. So long as I have this consciousness, so long as I have this awareness in myself, then this universe in all the three forms, that is Desh, Kal and Vastu, exists. And once that consciousness leaves my body, all that completely disappears. So the appearance and disappearance of this universe is completely supported and dependent on the consciousness which is located in our heart. Now, this we should realize, we have to meditate on it, because we are not used to it. We take this world as an outside entity. We see, oh, that is a distant village, or that is a distant country, or that, individual living is far away from here. The oceans are far away, those mountains are far away. But ultimately, all these things which we see, they appear in our guhachar, in our consciousness. Without that, none of these things can exist. The support for all this is the consciousness lying in our own self. And that is why in the what we call Mahavakya in Upanishad, say Aham Brahma Asmi, because I am creating this universe. My consciousness is the source of creation of this universe. My consciousness is the support of this universe. My consciousness is the place where I experience this universe. So nothing can be experienced, nothing can be felt, nothing can be, what we call realized without understanding this basic fact. So this basic fact has to be meditated upon. Every day we have to think that yes, this consciousness sitting in my heart is the source of all this universe. This is the one which is supporting this universe. Once this consciousness leaves, there is no universe, there is no antariksh, there are no planets, no galaxies, no cities, no countries, nothing will exist. So this is the, the foundation of what we call the deepest knowledge of science. The science talks about this universe in terms of physical existence. And they also talk, like Charles Darwin said, that a combination of matter gave birth to consciousness. So they talk about consciousness arising out of matter. and matter is a given fact according to them. But that is not true at all. It's the other way around. It is the consciousness which actually makes us realize whatever we realized in this universe. A scientist will not be able to experience this universe unless he has consciousness. A dead body has all the sense organs, mind is there, but they cannot experience because the consciousness has left, and that is the one which supports everything else. So, this is a foundational difference between modern science and ancient Indian wisdom, in which we have said that all this existence in whatever form, and not only the existence but also the time, whether it is the past, present, or future, all that is linked and supported by the consciousness. So, this is one very foundational thing which we have to meditate on if we want to actually understand the knowledge given in the Upanishads. And this is what was also told by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in variety of ways, that actually uh, at one stage Lord Krishna said that I am holding this whole universe in a small little particle of my body. That is the whole universe. Now uh, even in Rig Veda, the Purush Sutra said that you know 3/4 of the body of the Supreme is used for this universe, and 1/4 is not. So, but these are different proportions given. That doesn't matter whatever proportion. The fact is that consciousness is the foundation of existence of this physical and living universe. That is one fact we must understand if we want to understand properly the message of the Upanishad. Now, let's go further on this. Now, in the mantra 2 of the part 2, it says, जो दीप्तिमान है और जो सूक्ष्मों से भी सूक्ष्म है, जिसमें समस्त लोक और उन लोकों में रहने वाले प्राणी स्थित हैं. Now, that small little thing which exists in Guhachar, उसमें समस्त लोक हैं, समस्त लोकों में रहने वाले प्राणी हैं. Means the entire universe is existing in that small little particle. That is what it says. And that particle, it says that it is suksham se bhi suksham hai. We cannot estimate the size because we will not understand. It is said that it is bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, because it has no size. It cannot be estimated in terms of the size as we do in respect to other things. So, this is one point it is very clear that the whole entire existence is located there. वही अविनाशी ब्रह्म है. Now that is the Brahma, that is the supreme power located in the heart. वही प्राण है, that is the life force regulating our body. वही वाणी है, that is the force which makes us talk, by which we can speak. वही मन है, all the thinking process happens there. And वही सत्य है, that is the truth. And वही अमृत है, that is beyond the cycle of birth and death. So, and then finally it says that वही भेदने योग्य लक्ष्य है, उसको तू भेद. Now, भेदने योग्य लक्ष्य means that the target which we have to understand to realize this whole universe is located in our heart, in our Guhachar, that consciousness where everything else appears and disappears, everything else is supported from there. That reasoning has to be understood. Once we understand that, then we will start transforming ourselves. The transformation will start from there. the whole concept of me and you will disappear. Then everything is me and everything is you. There's no me and you because everything is appearing in my heart. Everything is appearing in my consciousness. So that distinction will completely go away. So the whole transformation starts from there. Now, in the next two verses, the Upanishad gives an example of uh, an arrow and dhanushman. Let me use it dhanushman. That you use dhanushman as uh, a sort of example how to achieve that objective to understand the Supreme. Now he says, let us see here in mantra 3, उपनिषद में वर्णित प्रणव रूप महान अस्त्र धनुष को लेकर, उपनिषद में वर्णित प्रणव रूप is what? Pranav roop is Onkar. The Pranav and Onkar are identical. The three O, A, U, Me, that is the actually primordial sound. This is the sound of the foundation on which the universe is based. And that sound is mentioned in Upanishad in the name of Pranav. That is what it says. And that is the Dhanush. That should be used as Dhanush. That is what the Upanishad is telling us. धनुष को लेकर उस पर निश्चय ही उपासना रूप तीक्ष्ण किया हुआ बाण चढ़ाएं. Now, upasana roop तीक्ष्ण किया हुआ बाण. That first we have to understand that this supreme power is located in our heart in Guacha. That is one part. Now we use this power as Dhanush. And we use Upasana. Upasana is basically to surrender to the Supreme. Upanishad and Upasana, they come from the same Sanskrit root, up and upas. That is, be close. To be close to the Supreme is Upasana. So once you start meditating on the Supreme, then it becomes part of your surrender to the Supreme. So you start surrendering to the Supreme, you start realizing that this Guhachar, which is there sitting in my heart, is the source of everything. And that is my Upasana. And we use that Upasana as a arrow. That Upasana becomes your arrow to reach the target. Now, Upasana द्वारा तीक्ष्ण किया हुआ बाण चढ़ाए भावपूर्ण चित्त के द्वारा उस बाण को खींचकर हे प्रिय उस परम अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम को लक्ष्य मानकर भेद. Now, this is an example, as we know that Upanishads and all the ancient writings are in the form of sutras, and they have to be expanded to understand their meaning. So we have to understand this. Now, it is using that there is a lakshya. Lakshya is what? To understand the Paramatma, to understand the Parameswar, to understand the Brahman, to understand the supreme power. That is the lakshya. How do we understand? We take the Guhachar as the source and we, sharpen it with lot of, determination and surrender to the Supreme. We sharpen that arrow. That arrow is sharpened. And with that arrow, we put it on the barn and we, send it to the target, to the Supreme. Now, this basically means that we have to first realize that there is a supreme power sitting inside me. That the first conviction of this sadhana. Without that, nothing else will move. Then we have to sharpen that sadhana. We have to keep thinking about it. And then we do upasana. Upasana means we surrender ourselves to that supreme power. And we tell that you are the one, the guiding force. You are the one which will take me wherever you want to take me. And then with all our force, we apply that to understand the Supreme. The Supreme will automatically come to you because the Supreme is sitting inside you. So once you surrender to that, there's no problem at all. It will be easy to realize the Supreme in your own self. And then you will, realize what the Tattvamasi, that you are the same Supreme. And that realization will happen once you do upasana of the Guhachar, the force of life which is sitting inside us. That Chaitanya in which everything appears, everything disappears, and everything is supported by that Chaitanya. That is the source. So now we will take one more verse, verse number, mantra number 4. ओंकार ही धनुष है, आत्मा ही बाण है, पर परमेश्वरम ही उसका लक्ष्य कहा जाता है। प्रमाद रहित मनुष्य द्वारा ही बींधा जाने योग्य बाण की तरह से तन्मय हो जाना चाहिए। Now it is reinforcing the same thing, but using certain slightly different terminology. Now the terminology, sometimes people wonder why different terminology has been used in different Upanishads and in different Shastras, explaining the same thing. The reason for that is that sometimes we do not understand one particular variety of terminology. Some people understand X terminology, some understand Y, some understand Z. So there are different variations of the same concept in different words has been used to make everybody understand the concept clearly. Because we have our own predicaments, we have our own, notions. There is a what we call preconceived ideas, even in terms of language. So certain people understand X language, some people understand Y language, some people understand Z language. And that is why the same concept has been told in different, words, in different structures of language, so that everybody can understand. So here again, Pranav Onkar hi Dhanush hai. The same Pranav is the Dhanush that will be. Atma hi Baan hai. Now here Atma has been used as Baan. Atma is, Pranav is also Atma. But Atma is located in Guhachar. That is, Guhachar is Atma. And Pranav is reference to the whole universe. Because the sound of Om is the foundation of this universe, and that is the Pranav. So that has been used as Dhanush here. And Parmeshwar, to understand the Paramatma, the Onkar is the name of that Paramatma. But the Paramatma is not Onkar. It is beyond that. That the Onkar is his words, his primordial words. But Onkar is not Paramatma. Paramatma is beyond that. So us Paramatma, that is the Lakshya, that is the target. And the Atma, the Guhachar is the Dhanush, that is the Baan, that is the Shar, that is the arrow. And Dhanush is Pranav, this whole, the the foundation of this universe, that is Pranav. That is the Dhanus. And that can be used by apromethein. Apromethein is a very, useful word to understand. Apromethein means the person without pramad, the person who does not have false ego inside himself. He has got rid of all the ego and ahankar. That is the apromethein. That person alone can reach the target. That is very important. प्रमाद रहित मनुष्य द्वारा ही ये जो टारगेट है उसको भेदा जा सकता है. That is very clear here. So we have to get rid of this ahankar, this ego, that I am the doer. No, we are not the doer. The small little Chaitanya which is sitting inside our heart, that is the source of everything. And we have to surrender to that source. That source is the one which enables me to see this universe, which enables me to experience this universe, which enables me to feel this universe, which enables me to live in this universe. So that feeling has to come. And once that feeling comes, then slowly, slowly the arrogance will go down, and then we will start realizing the Supreme sitting right inside you. So this is these four verses of second part of second Mundak of Mundaka Upanishad are foundational in terms of sadhana. If we want to realize the deepest knowledge, then first thing we must realize is that Chaitanya is the foundation of all this universe. Des, Kal, Vastu, everything appears in that Chaitanya alone. And then it says that Chaitanya is sitting right inside us, where we do our Chintan. Our Chintan is done here. And that Chintan is the one which projects everything in our mind. That whole universe is projected by that Chintan into our mind. And that projection is possible because of that Guhachar, because of that Akshar, because of that consciousness sitting inside us. That is the first thing. And then we surrender to that consciousness. We realize that this consciousness is the one which is guiding us, not I am not doing anything, I am not guiding anything. This consciousness alone is guiding me, alone is making me experience everything in this universe. So once we start doing that, then I think we are on the absolutely right track. So I will conclude today's session here. Thank you so much for joining, and I wish you very happy Raksha Bandhan to all of you today and to all your families. Thank you.